native Houstonian, and I get the pleasure of meeting people every day that are relocating to Houston for jobs, for family, for cost of living. But what keeps me here are the people. I'm guessing you're a pretty popular lady around here.
Lately.
I mean, if I drove a truck around town that had beer in the back, I think I would be pretty popular, just as popular as you probably.
Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty popular.
So how many beers can you fit back in that truck?
On this truck, I have 4 taps. I can put, just 4 different kegs, different variety, or liquor, wine combo, however you want to work it. On my other truck, I can hold 6. And then I'm working on a Jeep right now that can hold 2.
So what started this adventure of throwing beer in the back of the truck and showing up to events and making people very, very happy?
Necessity, actually. My daughter was having her 11th birthday, and her birthday's in November. It's freezing outside most of the time. She kind of wanted to do a karaoke party type, and so I was like, well, the best way to get people to your party is to have keg of beer. But I haven't tapped a keg since I was, I don't know, in college probably. So I have this small little hatchback. I drive to the liquor store, I pick out a keg, and they asked me if I wanted a bucket and a handle, and I was like, I don't even know what you do with the handle, how you connect it on there. It was a huge experiment. Didn't go exactly as planned. And then the next day I had to roll up this keg, put it back in my small little hatchback, drive it back there. It was just with this huge garbage can. And I just thought there's gotta be a better way. Like there's gotta be some kind of delivery service or some service out there that will bring a keg to your house. Like I throw 2 parties a year, and if me being like the single mom and really not a huge party person wants to have at least a keg once a year, there's gotta be people that wanna do it way more often than that. And then the idea kind of came from that. So it was, out of necessity, I think.
I for sure do not know how to tap a keg. Doug doesn't even know how to do it very well. We've done it before where we order from the liquor store, then we have to find a way to transport it to the house, then we have to figure out how to get this thing working. More often than not, we have to call a friend to come over and help us assess the situation. So offering this to families, whether it's for festivals or food trucks or house parties,
right?
This is awesome.
Thank you.
What's your most popular beer?
Right now, it's anything local and craft. Of course, IPAs are huge right now. Everybody loves IPAs. It's a very hoppy beer. Anything from Carbach, Love Street, 11 Below, a lot of the Dallas breweries, a few here in Richmond. Of course, No Label and Katie. Like these ones are huge, and those are the ones that most people request.
Well, I'm definitely not a beer connoisseur. I actually probably just started experimenting with beer probably maybe 7 years ago. And I started out with the Mexican varietal when I was in Mexico on the beach, because who doesn't like a nice cold beer on the beach in Mexico? But I have ventured out a little bit and tried some local stuff, and there's some really good beers out there. I'm not into the IPAs, that's more Doug's style, but especially on a day like today, in the middle of the summer in Houston, I mean, an ice cold beer sounds delicious.
Everybody loves like an ice cold Dos Equis with some lime and some salt.
I still love a good ice cold Corona. Sorry, guys.
Right.
So tell us a little history about your trucks.
So each one of my trucks kind of comes from one owner's. The reason why we went to like the vintage side of it is because everybody from the age 4 or 5 loves like the old classic trucks, and it grabs attention like right from the beginning. So then I'm gonna take the classic truck and I'm gonna add an element of beer or liquor to it, and now like, hello Texas, here I am, right? But they kind of gave me a little bit of history on it, and as I sit in the truck and I think about like the nostalgia of the truck, I'm like, this is someone's first kiss, this is a man who went off to war and he left his wife and his truck behind, and this was they got married and this was their drive-away vehicle. I mean, so all the history that's associated with the old trucks is really what makes me just excited to drive them. I'm serving beer, I'm part of people's celebrations, and then I have this really cool ride.
I mean, who knew that beer and trucks could be so romantic?
Right, exactly. Who would think that? But they are, especially when you go back old school like that.
Well, and they're definitely popular. You have people coming up to you wanting to take pictures with your truck all the time?
All the time.
Well, I'm gonna have to get some pictures before you leave.
Of course, right.
You mentioned your daughter earlier. It sounds like she was an instrumental part to all of this coming about. Is she kind of an entrepreneur herself?
I don't think she was initially, but as we started doing this, like she started getting just more ideas. One day we were just out in a field and we were trying to just look at some warehouses and things to put TapTruck in there. And there was a very old, rustic, single horse trailer. And she looked at it and she said, "Mom, can we take this and turn it into a snow cone?" She's like, "Of course I get to run it and I get all the money from it, but let's call it TapTruck Tag Along, so that way the beer can be in the front for the adults and the kids can have all the snow cones in the back." And I was like, man, at 12, like I wish I had that idea at 12, but.
Well, and we could even take it a step further, and if there's vodka in the back of the truck too, I mean, that would make a pretty good snow cone.
Right? You have a kid snow cone and the adult version, like.
I'll have two, please.
Right.
What lies ahead for TapTruck Houston?
There's a lot. We've only been doing this for about a year, almost a year now. I'm already purchasing my third truck, so it's grown at a bigger rate than I ever could have anticipated. Apparently there is a huge need for people to have kegs at their house. Like, what would you know? And I am, looking to get about 12 trucks, kind of cover the state of Texas. I already have kind of branched out into the Dallas market as well. Looking to cover Austin, San Antonio, definitely all of the big metropolis in Texas. And, my goal is to hit about 12 trucks serving kegs all over the state and just making people, have a great party. So
that's amazing. So the fact that you've been able to take this idea and just run with it, that's awesome. And then have your daughter on board,
right.
I mean, that's perfect.
Right.
So you got corporate events, weddings, food trucks, kids' birthday parties, adult birthday parties. Is there anything you don't do?
No, really. I mean, the only thing that I'm not going to do is be at a bar, right? Because you can go inside in the air conditioning, which is the one thing that I don't have with TapTruck. And you can have your drinks inside there, but if you want to drink like at home and be more comfortable in a, maybe more intimate setting instead of like just people that you don't know at the bar or corporate parties where they kind of want to control the liquor consumption to make it kind of safe, I'm there. So.
Beer of your choice delivered straight to you without the headache of tapping a keg. Another reason why I love Houston.